The woman just got on the plane to get a good night's sleep. Unexpectedly, the plane descended at a speed of 80 yards. She was afraid, hastily asked the captain why he was flying so low. I didn't wait for the captain to answer. I think of the dazzling police on the mirror. It's not going well. The captain turned his head hastily, reminded women to wear seat belts. Then the plane dutifully rushed into the copper coins. Fortunately, the captain forced himself to climb and thought everything was fine. I didn't expect the plane to lose control and slammed into the lake. Wait for the woman to wake up from her coma. I found myself upside down in the cabin. There is the sound of running water around. Apparently the plane hasn't sunk yet. As long as it is done properly, at least they won't drown. With the strength of breastfeeding, I finally earned my body. I haven't had time to catch my breath. A cry for help came from behind. I can't believe it. Two captains, stuck in the driver's seat in the same manner. The woman rushed to the rescue. First, he unbuckled the co-pilot seat belt, although successfully escaped. But as soon as you get wet, he was like a frightened bird. It turns out that men can't swim since they were young. The woman hastily reminded, "Go find the lifebuoy and he'll be safe." Then he turned around and rushed into the cab. He must hurry to rescue the other captain. But when he unfastened his seat belt, the captain did not fall as expected. It turned out that his calf was pierced by a stick. It fell in midair in embarrassment, and it got even worse. The co-pilot also did not find the right to life. Watching the water build up in the cabin, he panicked, opened the cabin without warning. Escape alone. When the water finds a gap, it pours in frantically. One-time cabin imbalance. It took a lot of effort for the woman to steady herself. Just a few seconds. The only two people left with their heads exposed. The captain begged the woman not to leave. Must save him. Before he could finish speaking, he was drowned in the neck. It was like it was welded to death. No matter how hard a woman tried, he didn't move a single bit. You can't communicate in the water. The woman can only hold the captain's hand tightly. Show that you tried your best. After spewing a mouthful of blood bubbles, the captain's life is here forever. Although it is extremely sad. The women are also in deep danger. We must escape as soon as possible. I never expected one. This humble mountain lake is 100 meters deep. Plot for a long time. Half the distance to the lake. Just when a woman is desperate, a gentle ray of sunlight shines in, with every ounce of his strength. Finally reached the lake before the lack of oxygen. The woman has just escaped from a lake deep in white rice. He was almost killed by a companion. Because I can't swim. The man can only keep slapping on the water. Crazy cry for help. The woman kindly stepped forward to help. Unexpectedly, physical fortitude touches like a lead-saving straw, subconsciously pushing the woman into the water. The woman keeps struggling in the water, but men have no sympathy. Selfishly put his head on the water. Fortunately, the woman broke free. Otherwise, you will definitely be choked to death by the water. Women decisively distance themselves. I'm afraid the man will go crazy like before, but I can't bear to abandon her. She calmly told the man to calm down and instilled some rescue knowledge in him. Then picked the man up from behind. Command the man to paddle and scold non-stop. After some effort, the two finally swam to the shore. I thought it would be safe, but I didn't expect the man to pass out long ago. Women are a little scared. I thought it was fine just now. How did it become like this in a blink of an eye? Yes, it must be. Because where was it injured when the plane crashed? Hurry up and look for wounds in men. Sure enough, a sharp piece of iron was found on his thigh. The wound is still bleeding. But women have no experience in medical care. Reach out subconsciously. The great pain woke the man up. Hastily remind women not to pull it out. Otherwise, he will die of blood loss. When prohibited, you can only use paper blood. But they are now in the virgin forest. This can be confusing for women. I had to undo the man's belt mark, but the belt is too hard to tighten at all. In a hurry, the woman had a flash of inspiration. He hurriedly took off the scarf around his neck. Wrap a punch around a man's thigh. Another stick grows. A few turns clockwise. The scorpion finally stopped, but there was no movement from the man. I don't know if he is still alive. I can only lie on his chest to verify. Although the man is still vaguely alive, the breathing is extremely weak. But no rescue. Men will surely die here. Fortunately, the phone was not damaged by falling into the water. But after playing for a long time, there is no signal. He found an ignition in the man's pocket. Phone and a cell phone. Going to try it on his phone. But even if he calls out both mobile phones at the same time, still no response. The woman stood there in a hurry and just turned around. I think you should be able to receive the signal where you are high. And they're going up to the top. You can look around. He fell into despair again. It's surrounded by mountains and rivers. Even if he holds two cell phones up in the air, there's no signal at all. And it got even worse. The companion was injured in the leg again, on the verge of death. When I think of this, women can't hold shouting for help into the distance. But even if he yelled out his throat, no one will hear. After a little calm, he found some dry lumber. Prepare a fire to keep warm. I pressed the lighter a few times and it didn't respond. It was affected by the wind. Decisively raised the other hand to cover. But after trying a few times, the only lighter was also damaged by the woman blisters. Is completely in despair. If I hadn't gotten on a stranger's plane, it won't end up like this. It didn't take long for my stomach to growl. Rummaging through pockets. Finally found 2 bags of cookies. Although pitiful, but at least it will keep him going for a few more days. The temperature in the valley suddenly plummets at night, so he had to get dressed, gather some leafy branches. Then it's applied to the man, prevent him from freezing to death. He snuggled up to the man pitifully. Although the two have only known each other for less than a day, it seems to give him some warmth. The next morning, woman just woke up. I hurriedly checked the man's body, although the wound no longer bleeds, but it looks inflamed. It didn't take long to hear the man's wailing in pain. The woman is overjoyed, unconscious for 2 days. The man finally woke up, but the man suddenly said that his stomach hurts. Women don't know why. Hastily opened her shirt. The sight startled her. Unhealthy dark purple on the skin. Apparently the internal organs were seriously injured, but he chose to hide it. Hastily asked the man, when will his colleagues come to the rescue? Since the plane belongs to the company, did not arrive at the designated location, that something happened. But the man hesitated for a long time. I finally told you the truth. Turns out he's not a photographer at all. Everything is made up by him and the dead man. Lies. I haven't waited for him to explain things. I swallowed on the spot. Hearing this result, women are a little confused and fell into deep despair. He is well aware of the current situation. I even buried my own thoughts. At this critical moment, some debris from the plane floated to the shore along the current. Wait until he picks it up. It turned out that he hadn't had time to open it yet. The first inspection report. The footage shows that he is pregnant. I didn't expect the last contact with my boyfriend. There was such a big surprise, even for the children. He also wants to live firmly. The woman in the mountains slowly takes off her shirt. A very wow figure. Immediately after, she leaned down again into her bulky boots, did some simple warm-up exercises. He walked towards the lake not far away in one breath, just got in the water, and he screamed. Swim back desperately. Although there are no monsters in the water, but the water temperature of -40 degrees is for ordinary people. It was unbearable. After landing, the woman kept looking for a dress. Dry yourself and restore your body. Seeing that the solution doesn't work, he picked up another pile of branches neatly placed together, prepared to make a life valve and route to the center of the lake. The method is simple, but to make wood of different lengths, fixed together. But it completely stumped the woman. In a hurry, he had to undo the man's hemostasis. After tearing into 2 sections, fix them at both ends of the result of a simple wood-cutting operation. But unfortunately, the wood fell apart before he could push it into the water. Watching the hope of survival dashed, a woman's emotions are completely out of control. Crashed into the lake. He is trapped in this deep mountain forest. I was thinking about getting the radio on the plane. They can reach out for help. He can't even cut a log. How to escape? Luckily, there was a small cookie left. I can barely survive the golden bowl and the woman fell asleep. Delicious beef tongue comes to mind. Her boyfriend who loves her is by her side, as if this encounter was like a dream. But when he woke up the next day, have to accept the cruel reality. For the fetus in the womb, he wasn't going to give up so easily. Fasten all the buttons of the clothes first. Find a dry tree trunk and ruin it into the water as a simple life buoy. Then grab the trunk with both hands, and they keep slapping on the water. Now this is a little bit clumsy, but at least it works. Before long, he swam to the center of the lake, saw the crashed plane. After confirming the location, the woman starts to frantically recall the location of the walkie-talkie. But as soon as he got into the water, he helped him up again. He almost got shot dead on the spot because he was after the first failure. He has experience. Take a long breath and go down for the second time. The crashed plane was soon found. Woman reaches out, ready to take the radio from the plane. The next second, a pale face stared at him from behind. I almost scared the woman into leaking air on turning the spot. Around and ready to swim back to the surface. I never expected because the interior of the cabin is too small. On the way back, my right foot was hooked by something. Can't move. Turning around, it turned out to be an intricate strap. The woman's face turned pale. Brute force trying to break free. I expect him to pull tighter and tighter. He hastily bent down. Pull your right foot out with both hands. Finally got the damn bag down. And we're done. He just kept going up to the surface, although it is 20 meters above the water. The woman finally swam up with tenacious perseverance. But here's the weird thing. He decided to go down again. Even if you can't get unlimited points back, at least find some relief supplies. Make sure you can survive in the mountains. Thinking of this, he became confident. Take a long breath. One smashed down. Soon he swam to the bottom of the lake. Look for 2 floating packages. Just reach out and grab it. But he didn't expect to pull so much. It took a lot of effort to get to the door. But women are not going to give up because these are the 2 dead airports. Maybe there will be something good. Think of this woman and work harder. Pull your legs up hard together. In a matter of seconds, he was back on the lake. After all this tossing, plus no food for 2 days, his stamina is about to run out. He actually fell asleep on the tree trunk. But the next second, he suddenly woke up. If you continue to burn like this, you will definitely die here. As a life buoy against your legs together and prepare to swim back to shore. Just then, what terrible sound came from behind? Wait for him to turn around and look. To find a fierce brown on the shore. Bears scare women. Yell at him and tell him to leave. The brown bear seemed to understand him, baring his teeth and yelling at you. I thought I wouldn't leave. You can stand me. Then he seemed to have discovered something good. Pulling on the ground. It's making women angry. Those are his precious cookies. Even after being hungry for 2 days, I didn't expect this guy to be cheaper at this time. Open your mouth. Eat the result before you even taste it. See this scene. The woman is completely speechless. I haven't waited for him to recover. The brown bear seems to swear its protagonist. The whole body is facing the water. Crackling. I almost made a woman angry and vomited and blood on the spot. It got even worse. The brown bear found the man's body. It's getting closer. Shouting for him to leave. But brown bears also seem hungry. How can you give up when you find such a big baby? She opened her mouth and bit the man's arm. Seeing that my companion is about to be eaten, the woman kept yelling and slapping the water. I didn't expect this trick to be really stable. The brown bear also stopped. Look in the direction of the woman. I think your prodigal girl is really annoying. I'm so noisy that I'm not in the mood. Seeing the brown bear react, the woman speeds up her patting. The brown bear is also angry. Since you can't stop eating here, change the map in your brain, then bypass the corpse and return to the jungle. Watching the brown bear leave, the woman is overjoyed, but he didn't dare to go ashore immediately. Maybe the brown bear will also keep an eye hiding in the shadows to ambush him until the sun goes down. He just started to beat his legs and swim towards the shore. This toss can make women tired enough. I can't even stand still. Watching the cookies eaten by the bear, he was devastated. It's his only food. How to survive after that? Fortunately, this launch is quite fruitful. Although I didn't bring back the radio, but he got all 3 people's packages. After opening your bag, something familiar comes into view. I didn't expect my mirror to break. Look at yourself in the mirror. The woman lost her mind. Then another bag was found. Inside is a pair of earrings. It was given to him by his ex-boyfriend. I just don't know when I'll be able to get out of here. Join him. After sorting out your package, no useful supplies were found. Then the woman looked at the two captains of the package. I hope there are some rescue items inside. I didn't expect him to just open one of them. I almost dropped my jaw. I saw a few square bags inside. I'm wondering what this is. Hastily open it to check. Horrified to find a large amount of dollar bills. The woman was surprised and delighted to see this. I didn't expect to become a millionaire in a blink of an eye. If successful, that little date is not selfish, and she had an epiphany. The other captain's package doesn't also contain money. Wait for him to open it, also containing some red bags. It shook and there was a sound. But the weird thing is that it's not the ovaries inside. It's some illegal pain relief. Only then did women understand. It turned out that the two captains were dying in the director general money. Woman stumbles across $10 million, but he didn't intend to take it for himself. First, I found some dry branches. Pulls out another pair of reading glasses. When the sun is focused into a point, banknotes are set on fire. Women are not only not distressed, it was glowing at the point of the fire. There is a play. He took some more bills and put them on it. Then I put some branches on it. The moment the fire started, makes women happy. In the eyes of the average $10 million is enough to eat and clothe. But the woman is trapped in this wilderness. We must do everything we can to survive. No lighter. This is the clumsy way she has to live. I thought I was by the camp. Finally got through this cold night. To prevent brown bears from coming, and he used all his strength to lift the man's body. Find a quiet place and bury him. As a tribute, found another intact tree trunk. Put it in front of the mound as a tombstone. That's when the woman remembered. I don't know the man's name yet. I had to hang the man's watch on the tombstone. After finishing this, he was a little down. From then on, he will wander alone in this barren mountain. I don't know if I can survive. I'm hungry. I can't find anything to eat. I had to take out the cookie tape that was eaten by the brown bear. The tongue licks the residue on it, but that's not enough at all. And then the woman had an epiphany. Find a medicine first. Pour out all the pills inside. Then he came to the lake. I think drinking some lake water can satisfy my hunger. Enough, just fill the bottle. The woman did not drink. Looking at the orange lake, she couldn't help but start worrying about whether there might be bacteria of the fetus in the womb. Think of this. The woman had a bold idea. First, he walked towards the depths of the woods. Recall the scene of the plane crashing into the lair. Sure enough, some wreckage of the plane was found underfoot. It didn't take long for him to find a piece of iron. He then returned to the camp, holding up a stone and smashing it for a long time. Made a simple boiling water membrane, and then you put in the dirty wire. Time goes by minute. The woman stood by the fire and dared not afraid that something will go wrong in the next second. Lives up to its wishes. It didn't take long to hear the sound of boiling water. See the women dancing happily here. He subconsciously reached out his hand and almost got burned to death. In order to drink distilled water as soon as possible, to pick up a pill bottle. But unfortunately, not a single drop of water came up. I accidentally got scalded again. In the end, he had to resort to the dumbest way. Pick up a bottle of water and put Tom out. Wait for the temperature of the water pot to carefully reach out and touch. Finally pour the water into the bottle. Drink this hard-won spring water. And he was content. But in the end, it is far away and it cannot be long for him to panic with hunger. The woman takes out a plate of needle out a long section. Then I found a dead branch. Tie a dead knot at the top of it. Pull hard with one hand. I tried it and it feels very sturdy. Then he took out another black package. Found an earring. Also tie a dead knot on the other end of it. Just like that, a simple fishing rod is done. Subsequently, he came to the lake full of confidence and started fishing all morning. I didn't see a whole bottom underwater. But even so, women don't give up either. If he doesn't catch any more fish, he will die in this mountain. The woman summoned up the courage to continue. He threw more than a dozen orders in a row. I still don't see the shadow of a fish. I was going to give up looking for him because he was really hungry. But just then, the fishing line suddenly tightened. The woman hurriedly grasped the fishing rod with the strength of the milk. Unexpectedly too much force. With a bang, the fishing line broke. Fuck you, the only rod is broken. Can only find him. He was walking aimlessly through the jungle, going to look for something to eat. Fortunately, he found some wild fruits. Fill a few big bottles and come home full. He puts different fruits together. But look at the food in front of you. Women dare not eat again. If it's poisoned, you might die on the spot. But then I thought, better to poison than starve. Pick up a blue fruit and throw it into your mouth. After eating and drinking, the woman smiled with satisfaction, getting ready for a good night's sleep. I didn't expect abdominal pain. The man almost spat out his intestines. It seems that these fruits can no longer wait until the next day. He finally found a way not to starve to death. I saw him holding a card. Enduring the stench, Bela picks up brown bear droppings. Found some red mint in it. Then he finds a bottle of coconuts of similar color. Pinch it lightly with your hand. Juice gushed out on an empty stomach. But here's the thing. The exact same ones found in mint and brown bear droppings. See this scene. The woman is overjoyed. But the woman also kept an eye out. Before use, he poured the fruit into boiling water. After being distilled, he threw it into his mouth with finally living up to my hard wishes. This time he didn't have a belly attack. I didn't expect the food problem to be solved. It rained heavily in the sky. It didn't take long for him to feel pain all over his body. Under a dead tree in embarrassment. Since the plane crash, he has been trapped in this barren mountain for 3 days. By night, he reached the top of the mountain. I found a light not far away. Guess there must be a small town there. The next day, he packed his bags quick, heading towards the town. To prevent yourself from getting lost, tie the red ribbon on the trunk again. I didn't go far when I found a footprint. That turns women on. Sure enough, someone is here. Hurry up and look in the direction of the footprints while shouting for help. But the next second, he was stunned by the scene in front of him. The red ribbon hanging on the tree is that cream. It turns out that the agreement was left by him. I didn't expect to go around for a day. It's back to square one. See this result. The woman is completely in despair. But to give up now would mean death. After drinking a little water to stabilize the mood, he reached the top of the mountain again, reached out and relocated the town. After getting lost last time, women know very well, to successfully cross the jungle, we must find a way to help ourselves stop. Then he suddenly remembered his childhood. The teacher once said how to make a simple paper needle. Hastily returned to camp to prepare for a year. After rummaging through the cabinet, I finally found a down to the lake and fetched a bottle of water. Cotton pad. Insert the needle into the cotton pad, then throw it into the bottle and observe carefully. But here's the weird thing. The cotton pad just floats on. The water didn't give her any direction. Just when a woman is confused, it occurred to him he must have missed a crucial step. The teacher once said, the needle will be magnetized when rubbed against the magnet. After magnetization, it can be rotated to guide the direction. For a long time. I didn't find anything with magnets on it. At a critical moment, he suddenly thought towards the grave of the man in the distance. The words of the watch suddenly flashed in the brain. Hastily removed the man's watch from the tombstone. There is indeed a magnet on the strap. You just stick on it and the needle gets stuck on it. After rubbing it 100 times, it really worked. The paper needle moved quickly. See this result. The woman is overjoyed. He walked slowly to the deadway. Pick up a stone. Show me my father's visit here. Then he set off into the depths of the jungle with confidence. Then a terrifying voice suddenly came from behind, scared the woman and ran away. Look at a big tree and climb it directly. I didn't expect the trunk to be so fragile. It broke with a bang. The woman was hung upside down from a tree. I felt this excruciating pain in my leg. I didn't have time to think about it because that terrifying sound arrived in front of me. But I almost fell off when I saw the food. Thought it was a half-ton brown bear. I didn't expect it to be just a little raccoon with foraging for food. Seeing this scene, the woman finally breathed a sigh of relief. I can't help but feel ashamed of what I just did. But he laughs and he thinks a lot. Since the death of the plane, this is his 4th day trapped in the jungle. I don't know when I'll be able to escape. Just when he was worried, suddenly the sound of a plane came from above. That turns women on. He quickly took out a mirror from his backpack, trying to attract flies through specular reflections of sunlight. But the big tree in the sky blocked the view. Even if he screams and slits his throat, they won't hear him. Women are not ready to give up. Keep running with the sound. He was oblivious to the danger beneath his feet. When he wakes up, I found myself with my lower body pressed against the boulder. Looking up, it is dozens of meters from the ground. It was bare, there was no force. It's a hell of a climb. And to make matters worse, there's this pain in the back of your head. Wait for him to reach out and terrified to find a lot of blood. He quickly took out a scarf from his backpack, enduring severe pain, and wrapped a circle of confetti around the top of the head. He seemed to be hallucinating, and I saw a cloud of smoke flying overhead. Then I saw my long dead mother, lying not far away. Reach out and touch his forehead. Persuade him to struggle with such pain. Better to give up sooner. They can meet down there. But even if the body is too weak to listen to the snakes, he didn't intend to die here so easily. Pick up a rock and hit the boulder on your body, not from day to night. Get some strength back. He starts to speed up the metaphor of tapping, relying on a tenacious will to survive. Finally knocked out a gap. Then seize the opportunity to put your hands on the surface of the stone. During the severe pain, he tried his best to pause his legs out. He actually successfully pulled the lower body out. Look at the bare stone walls. The woman immediately panicked. Even at 100% physical strength, it's hard for him to climb up from here. What's more, he has injuries. The atmosphere throws out a medicine unwillingness, but strangely, it didn't collapse as expected. Wait for him to take a closer look. I found a secret passage. It took a lot of effort to finally escape. See the long-lost son. The woman is overjoyed, but I haven't had time to be happy. To my horror, I found a white cliff beneath my feet. If you are not careful, you may fall to pieces. But even so, he also wants to try. Picked up a bald rock and prepared to climb down. The next second, when he wakes up, there was a huge pain in the abdomen. Lift up your clothes and take the lingering love of Blockbusters. And it got even worse. His backpack accidentally fell into the cave. It contains all the supplies. See this scene. The woman fell into deep despair, but giving up now would mean death. Hurry up and adjust your emotions. Force yourself to calm down. Then he reached out and grabbed a dead branch, ready to get up, although I can barely stand up. But his leg seems to have just been broken. He screamed in pain. Took a couple of tries to get back on my feet. At this time, his brain recalled the direction of the town, although the paper needle is lost. But he was delighted to find a gentle ray of sunlight shines on the face. The trees in this area are not as lush. With the guidance of the sun, he can roughly determine the location of the town. But the injury on the leg is seriously slowing down the travel speed. It's still a dense jungle. I didn't even see the shadow of a small town. The woman is getting ready for bed at night, suddenly awakened by a burst of light. Lasers appeared in the sky not far away, and a woman's way of survival. It's all about this laser, because lasers tend to appear in water vapor. Rich area. The next day, he followed the direction of the aurora. Sure enough, a fast-moving river was found. Then it also means downstream of the river is human habitat. Whether it's a small town or a village, someone will always be there. Although the hope of survival is just around the corner. You can look around. The sides of the river are uneven, and there is no way to go. He also has the battle department of the commercial alliance. The woman is very lost. That's not and a tear. It's like saying goodbye to the world. But it didn't take long. He gritted his teeth again. Eyes are as follows. I made a bold decision in my heart. Immediately after, he found a dead steak and put it in the river as a simple life buoy. Without saying a word, he jumped directly in. It turned out that he wanted to float directly down the river. But he still underestimated the impact of the river. As soon as he jumped in, he was turned upside down. If you are not careful, you can drown alive. I can only grab the stake and keep struggling. After passing a curve, the width of the river is tight. The speed of the water becomes more uniform. Almost hit a raised stone in the process. Fortunately, he changed direction in time enough to escape. It didn't take long for him to run accidentally out of lost the tree. I'm about to drown. I can only try my best to grab the branches close to the water. Unfortunately, he broke the big branch because of too much force. In a blink of an eye, he fainted in the river. I thought my life was coming to an end. He closed his eyes reluctantly and waited for the arrival of death. Rangers found him. After some rescue efforts, the woman gradually regained consciousness. After exactly 7 days, he finally made it out of the jungle with a strong will. So keep